Do you collect what you love? When we talk about collecting sports cards, all I ever hear when someone asks, hey, what advice would you give a new collector, somebody getting into this hobby? Collect what you love. And yet most all of the social media marketing and or manufacturer marketing is focused right around the newest releases.
Breaker, my number one job is to hype things.
And that's really it. There's not a whole lot of balance. And I've talked about this with Topps Fanatics in the past. They have a rich history going back to 1952 where they have released amazing cards. There's huge iconic cards that are Topps cards. And really, if you look back over the last 12 years, Panini has got some massive cards that have come out that they have created. And yet that history of the brands, it's not a focus. And of course, why is that? Well, these are businesses and I understand it. They have to make money. But why not talk about more of the rich history of these brands as opposed to just the newest release that we've got to sell out at the highest possible prices?
Did we reinforce the takeoff ramp? No, we didn't have time. Cool. Oh, shit.
Before I continue on, I want to thank all of you that are out there using my affiliate links. I've got 3 in particular that get a lot of heavy use. I do get a small commission from each, so I appreciate you all. It is the eBay affiliate link that I have in my video description, as well as the pinned comments as you purchase things through that eBay affiliate link. It is the PSA affiliate, where it's $25 off your first submission over at PSA. And of course, the SlabMags affiliate. Again, these are 3 affiliates that get clicked on and used every single day. So I very much appreciate you all. I wanted to thank you for it. We live in a world where there is a lot of people maybe following a trend because they want to be in the in crowd. They want to feel cool. One thing about collectibles is you're really only happy at the end of the day when you have stuff that you really do enjoy.
On the premiere of Fleer Ultra NBA basketball cards with tons of white hot action, marbleized borders, 3D graphics. So now that you know how much quality goes into Fleer Ultra, you'll agree you can't buy a better basketball card.
Collect what you love is easy to say, but again, when all of the marketing, everything that's shoved into your face are, these are the cool cards, this is the next it thing.
My number one job is to hype things.
And I want to ask questions to the viewership, so make sure you stay till the end of the video because I want to get feedback from you all as we like to do. You know, the big one on the docket here over the last, couple of months has been the Paul Skeens debut patch 1/1 autograph card. Amazing card. I really like the design of these cards. I like the idea that there is this huge chase with a game-worn patch and all that sort of a thing. I think this is probably the best thing that Topps Fanatics has come out with as far as innovation in quotation marks since they've gotten back into the hobby. I don't like how everything is just about the next new 1/1 big hit. But this is a creation by Topps Fanatics that I think is a net positive for collectors as a whole. I do think it's a fun chase. You can pull it out of a variety of different products that are not uber expensive. And so I don't mind this card in this chase at all. It has been pulled and then magically the card ends up over at Fanatics Collect. We don't hear anything about it and then all of a sudden it surfaces and it's at Fanatics Collect, which I think is interesting. But it doesn't really matter. Congrats to the family out there. They're going to cash in big on the card. This was the smart move, is to sell this card upon release, kind of at the height of its power, so to speak. So congrats to the family. I know they say it's an 11-year-old kid, but really there's a family there that's going to have to manage the money. It's not going to be a check that's handed to an 11-year-old to go spend at the toy store. So much emphasis is put on the high dollar cards, and I want to actually reference, I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, but Jeremy Padawer, probably saying it wrong, just insane collector, had an amazing collection that was unfortunately lost in the LA fires. And he showed a picture on his Instagram where he had a lot of this stuff in fireproof safe. And I thought this was really interesting because, of course, fires blazing through LA. And the safe, basically, he explained it as, of course, the safe was protected, but essentially becomes an oven, burns everything inside. So everything inside the fireproof safe was gone. It was destroyed. He had, jewelry that was charred, paper, anything that was paper, like cards, gone. So I thought that was really interesting. When you think of a fireproof safe, maybe the idea is, okay, your house catches on fire, but you've got a fireproof safe. So when they go and back into the house, everything should be fine. And maybe that can be the case. This is one example, but we shouldn't assume it. We shouldn't assume that any of this stuff is guaranteed. I think it also just brings attention to the fact that we should enjoy these items, especially the stuff that we maybe paid up for that's pretty rare. Maybe it's a 1 of 1, maybe it's an out of 25, maybe it's something you just don't see every day. You know, it's just a thing. It's just an item that can be gone in an instant. You know, Mother Nature can have her way, can just, with a snap of the fingers, Mother Nature can basically take care of all of it. And that's all there is to it. I do have my stuff insured, but again, there's no guarantees with any of it. I've never had to file an insurance claim. And so as much as it is fun to look at the high-end stuff, appreciate it, and also maybe own an item or two or own a handful. Some people own a lot of high-end items. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. None of this stuff is guaranteed. So I think it's important to keep that top of mind. One project that I want to do, I've decided in 2025, I'm going to create a binder of I'm going to call them important cards, but very available cards. So an example of this would be 89 Hoops, David Robinson. This was a massive, massive chase when I was a kid. Huge card. I remember going to card shows in shopping malls. I know a lot of people today would be like, what's a shopping mall? Literally, they used to have card shows, just tables and tables and tables in your local shopping mall before Amazon, before the internet, where you would go and actually shop for things. And this card was one, it was an example. 89 Upper Deck Griffey, a lot of hot cards, chase cards, you know, back in those days. And this was one of them. I want to get a binder and basically just have a binder full of these important cards, whether it's this, whether it's 89 Upper Deck Griffey, maybe there's some Bo Jackson cards, maybe there's Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire. It's going to be mainly focused on 80s, 90s, maybe some 2000 stuff, early 2000 stuff. But there is so much out there that doesn't break the bank. And of course, a binder with the pages, it's just for me to be able to view it and enjoy it. It is not for, you know, that binder is going to be worth $1 million one day. When we just get back to enjoying the cards, there's so much hype around everything, whether it's the Paul Skeens. The entire emphasis on the hobby, mostly that I see right now, is chasing new product, chasing the newest hit, chasing the newest 1 of 1. But guess what, guys? Next month, there's going to be another chase. And the month after that, there's going to be another chase. I've actually had a lot of fun and found value. If I'm going to spend significant money, I've gone the non-sports entertainment cards route, where if I can spend significant money, let's say it's a couple $1,000s, and I can get, this is an example of it right here. This is arguably the best Stranger Things card that exists. Stranger Things, I know. Crazy, right? But I do collect what I enjoy. I'm not going to just follow the crowd and buy a hobby box of 2024 Prism football when you could literally get this card was $2,300. So I know a little bit more than a hobby box. What are they now? $1,400, $1,500 for a Prism hobby box. You can also get, if you're like, I'm not really into non-sports, what's something else I could get? You could get a PSA 2 for about the same price, a 53 Topps Willie Mays in a 2. And a PSA 2, there's one on eBay right now. I think it's $16.95. Maybe you could haggle them down. But there's been sales in that $1,500 range. And that is an all-time card. Any vintage collector would tell you the 1953 Topps Mays, in any grade, just owning that card is a fantastic card. And you can find a nice 2 out there, a nicely centered 2, or maybe it's got, you know, surface stuff looks good. And so that's exactly the point, is it's so shifted one way where a lot of the marketing, the hype, there's no hype around 53 Topps Mays, which is incredible. Yes, he doesn't play anymore. He's passed away. Boring, right? You know, you can't watch him play anymore, but man, just understanding his life, his legacy. To me, he's the best all-around baseball player that ever lived. And I'm not a baseball guy, I'm not a baseball expert, but the 5-tool player, the guy that could do it all, was Willie Mays.
I hate to say this, Joe, but my best player, the guy that I picked, wasn't my teammate. He was Roberto Clemente.
Doesn't necessarily have won all the titles, doesn't have, you know, he'd never played for the Yankees, but he is the guy. So when I look at the price points of iconic cards like that versus a box of cards to open the packs to hope to get the 1 of 1. And you know what's even more crazy? Let's just use 2024 Prism football as an example. A lot of the huge hits have already been pulled. So people are, I guess, are buying it, you know, these hobby boxes. You know, a lot of the huge Shaden Daniels already been pulled. A lot of the huge Drake May already been pulled. You know, Bo Nix, go down the list. Go on eBay right now and look at sold listings. Look at, you know, price it, sorted out by highest price for like the big kind of the chase cards for 2024 Prism football. They're being sold already. So what are you looking for out of there? You know, and the price has actually gone up. I remember going back, you know, a couple months ago when you actually had availability to get those hits, and it was $1,000 a box. Now it's even more expensive. It's weird, you know, and so being able to look past all of the hype and all of the crazy around certain sets. I get that it's Prism. I think the 2024 Prism football cards, I think they look really good. Just like with all these cards, the singles market will be there for you. You know, in a year, you'll be able to buy 2024 Prizm football cards. In 2 years, they'll be there again. And in 10 years, when you go search on eBay, guess what? They'll be there again as well. And that Brian Thomas Jr., you know, in 10 years, that Black Finite 1 of 1 that sold for $16,000, maybe the guy's the next Jerry Rice. Maybe he is. But what if he's not? What if he's not the next Jerry Rice? Because that card at $16,000, go back and look at what's Jerry Rice's rookie card for $16,000. What can you get? Probably get a handful of 9s. You know, I think the 10 for this card is like, what, $80,000? Maybe it's $100,000. But what are the 9s? You could probably get, how many 9s could you get for $16,000? You know, or getting the 1 of 1 Black Finite Brian Thomas Jr., who might be amazing, but plays for the Jaguars, just like so many receivers down the line. I'm a New Orleans Saints fan. I watched Michael Thomas have possibly the best 5-year start of a wide receiver in the NFL. And now he's not even on an NFL roster. The NFL is cruel in that way, man. You can have a guy that is on top of the world, have a series of seasons, a year, 2 years, 3 years, where he's literally like top 5 player in the league, and then boom, career-ending injury. Something weird happens off the field that changes his trajectory. There's so much risk. Not to take away from the fun of those that are chasing, but again, all I hear, podcasts, YouTube, IG, is the newest release where you can buy into this break or you can buy into this repack or Raz or whatever. And it's like, my God, guys, there is a sea of opportunity out there that is not that brand new product. Just wait a little bit. Just give it a little bit of time. You don't even have to wait that long. Give it 3 months, 6 months after release, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. The odds that your player that you're chasing is going to be the next Michael Jordan, that's going to be the next Tom Brady. I know Jaden Daniels is front and center right now. He's got a game today. Maybe this guy's the next Tom Brady. Maybe he rattles off 7 rings, 7 titles. Maybe he is. Or maybe he falls in the same long line of quarterbacks, either is a one-hit wonder or has a very good career and just nobody cares about his cards later on. Donovan McNabb, let's throw him out there. Great quarterback. I mean, there's literally like a laundry. There's such a long list of these guys that had very good careers and the cards are completely irrelevant. You know, Matt Ryan, look at him statistically, had a very good career. Nobody's going to care about his cards. Football is a brutally cruel sport in this way. So I have questions for you. In 2025, how are you collecting cards? Has it changed? Let's say collecting or speculating. So we're kind of wrapping in, investing in quotation marks. Speculating is a better word for it. Collecting or speculating in 2025, how has it changed, if any, since 2020? Or if you've been in the hobby longer, how has it changed from 2010, 2015, or maybe 1995? How has it changed for you, if at all? And also, what is your overall collecting goal? Because for me, I know for a long time, it was just kind of like, it's fun to get packages in the mail, but where is the end game there? Are we just collecting to collect? Is it a form of hoarding where it's just like, man, the more the merrier, the more the great stuff, the merrier? Or is there some sort of end goal to it? And I just like to hear different perspectives on this. And if the answer is simply, I just like to have cool cards, I've got disposable income, and I can buy as much volume as I want to based on this amount of money I've got set aside for it, that's totally fine. Or is it, I want to get to this certain point and then maybe I'll sell it off, or maybe I'll pass this down to my family. What are the answers there? Will it be a large collection, or will it be pared down being a smaller collection? Maybe as you get older, maybe do your tastes change? Do you think, oh man, maybe I could use some of the money for other things? Of course, we can't know what we're going to feel like necessarily in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and life happens. Life can change on a dime and your priorities can change. So hopefully I can get some good answers from you all today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Friends, have an amazing Sunday ahead. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.